Hey everybody, thanks for taking a look. This is an old vintage Wenger. It's from the early Sportsman series. It's an Allsport. It's a 93mm knife, I believe from the 1950s. It's very similar to one that I just featured and refurbished and sold from the 1960s. So I thought I would show you the differences. First thing you might notice is that the shield is different. Instead of the pointed shield with the Federal Cross, this one has a crossbow and the word Suisse, French for Swiss, S-U-I-S-S-E. And I believe these originally had a darker background, kind of a painted background, but they wear off. And so now it just looks like a metal silver inlay. I think it really looks cool. It definitely is a nice metal laid in there. Now this was the third shield in Wenger's progression or evolution of shields, and I'll pause right now just to show you that lineup again. The other thing that you'll notice about the knife is that this one has exposed rivets in the scales. You can see one here at the pivot, and here's a pin, and then of course there's one, there's the bail. And that's the other thing that you'll notice is different. This bail is brass. It's really corroded right now, but it should clean up well. And it's a little more stylized. It's got a collar and then it's pinned to the knife. Whereas the last one that I featured, it had a stainless steel loop that actually went into the body of the knife through some brass bushings. So the former one was probably a more solid construction, but this one definitely is a little more stylized, a little more retro. And then it's got the old tools. It's got the old style can opener. It's got the old style awl. It's got the old style cap lifter screwdriver with the sharpened wire stripper in addition to the cap lifter. This knife, I'm showing you this knife in the condition that I got it. I haven't done anything to it other than give it a hot sudsy bath. By the way, if you do this kind of thing, I would recommend that as a first step. I've learned to, just as soon as I open these and inspect them enough to know I'm going to keep them, I'll take it to the sink and give it a hot sudsy bath and scrub it all over inside and out with a toothbrush. And the main reason I do that is just germs. I mean, honestly, before I get my fingernails down in there and everything, I have no idea where this has been, how many years it's been since it's been cleaned, who's been holding it, what they've been doing with it. So I like to sanitize them, then I hit them with a hot hair dryer blowgun and dry them all up, and then I'll start working on them. So anyway, that's also a lot of times will help your tool movement as it loosens old hardened oil, sticky oil, and grit things. So where was I? Let's take a look at the blades. You've got the small blade that's a clip point blade, and it's got a tang stamp that just says Wenger Switzerland. And then the larger blade on this one also reads Wenger Switzerland. And then on the other side, Wengerinox or Wengerinox. And this kind of rubbed thin on this one. But the blade's in good shape. It's very scuffed. I'll shine that up. But it's got a good edge. And the nice thing about this knife is that all the tools, there aren't any chips, broken tips, bends, crimps, cracks, rust. That's pretty nice. The walk and talk on it is weak or non-existent in some places, and I'm hoping, as I work with it and oil it and everything, some of that will come back. Yeah, so just wanted to show you this. These are hefty knives. This is a 93mm knife again, versus 91mm for officers' models from Wengerinox. So it's equal in length to, say, a Alox Wengerinox, like a Pioneer or a Farmer or something like that. And these things were just built to last. This knife has to be from maybe the late 40s, early 50s. I'm thinking the early 50s because, the exposed rivets would have put it before the 60s, and that shield as well. But it does have what appear to be aluminum liners. And you know, this just has a sound and feel. I haven't cleaned it up yet, but it just does not look like nickel, silver, or anything else. So I think that's going to be aluminum, and Victorinox, you know, started that in 1951. This one came complete with original scissor spring and tweezers and a toothpick. They've got these really cool brass tweezers. It's got this really cool brass tweezer, and it's, I believe, a nickel silver tip, maybe aluminum. Again, I haven't cleaned this up yet. I thought what I would do a little differently with this video is just show you the condition it came in, which is pretty good, and then go to work on it and show you stills at the end, before and after. Toothpick. This is kind of funny. Nasty. Look at that old thing. It's kind of like a translucent plastic. It's very yellowed, and it comes to a serious little point. And there's some kind of spot on there that I haven't been able to get off yet, so I don't know what that is. But very, very vintage, very retro.